Alright, guys. I'm pretty grumpy. Like, I'm happy. I know that I'm gonna win somehow, some way. I feel like I may have already won, and, like, I'll finally, like, see results on July 9th or July 10th. But I'm super frustrated right now because since all the way back in my AMC days, 2 years ago, live streaming, I've always known I've been a little angry and a little bit questionable as whether somebody might like what I'm saying or not, or whether somebody might think whether I'm a good role model for their children or anything else. Like, I always had a small feeling that, like, I always knew I could have stopped being repulsive and just, like, been like everybody else and make a professional YouTube channel where I give the best information and everyone just flocks to me. But, like, that's not fun. Like, I feel like I'm slaving away when I work like that. And so I like to just go live on YouTube for 8 hours, build my algorithms in front of your freaking face as I talk about them, and then once I'm done, I'll make a 10-minute video just about what I built, explaining it. So, like, if you didn't catch the 8 hours of me building it, then you got the 10-minute version, and now you're good to go. And, like, that's just how I did my YouTube. And I could understand how that's repulsive to a lot of people. And so I always wondered if, like, okay, like, some people were able to recognize my greatness and, like, they probably shared what they needed to share with enough people and had enough following that we were able to make everything happen. But I kind of felt like there was always middlemen between my information and the people it actually went to. And I felt like no one actually knew my name, no one actually knew who I was. Or the 1,000 people that did, like, didn't have a strong enough voice for it to matter. And I've always kind of hated myself for that, thinking that, like, I've made this way harder than it had to be. I took way longer to get where I needed to go, like, way longer than it should have taken. Like, the people that have killed themselves, my close family and friends, like, so many people not saved yet. And I just think about all of it, and then what happens this week, it confirms that whether any of what I'm, like, thinking about for the last 2 years was based in fact, or I was just being a conspiracy theorist or paranoid, was debatable. But now YouTube and Twitter, my only social medias, have completely throttled my account. If you message a comment on any of my videos, I no longer get a message saying I received a message when I used to always get a message. Sometimes it comes in hours after the message, but I always got a notification that I'm receiving messages. I went back in my videos and I'm finding dozens of comments I haven't read before, and I never got messages for them. And then Twitter, oh my goodness. Well, I'm not even done with YouTube. So YouTube, I make a video about Mullen. It gets more views than any video that I've made in the last 6 months. And I get probably, I think it's like 25 followers. And then the very next day I make videos, 4 different videos. And all day long, like the last video I made for hours and hours and hours, it was less views than the number of new followers I got the day before. And all 4 videos I made yesterday, each one got less views than the next. Each one is a more powerful message than the next. And so YouTube already pissing me off. Like, I started getting skeptical yesterday, and then last night, I mean, it was like this morning at like 3 a.m. I am on my Twitter and I find something and it's a guaranteed fact now. So I did I was on this space call for an hour, and I was engaging a lot with the emojis, and you could tell that they saw that I was engaging a lot, and they were like reacting to my reactions. And then at the end, they said that they didn't have time to bring anyone else on to let them speak, and so if they need to speak, then like go start their own space. So I went and started my own space call again. The first space call I started 4 days ago, I only got 60 views to date. After 5 days, I've only gotten 60 views. I started a space call 2 nights ago, and on that space call, I only talk for 14 minutes, but I talk about a lot of different things. And only 50 people, like only 20 people were ever there at most when I was actually speaking, but only 50 people came and left by the time I closed the space call. And in the next 24 hours, so I had 4 likes, and I had one person comment, they signed my petition and they love me. One person comment that, like, this is the craziest space call they ever heard. AI, spirituality, forgiveness, heroes, whatever. And then goes on to say I'm crazy. And then in the next 24 hours, it gets 800 people to listen. So I had 2 space calls on my Twitter. One of them, when I did the space call, it had 60 views, and at that same time I had a tweet that had 52 likes. Now I can't get more than 4 likes on any tweet, and I had 800 views on my space call that was 14 minutes long, and I didn't get 1 extra like, 1 extra follow, or 1 extra comment. Oh, bull crap. And it pisses me off. Like, that is unjustifiable. I am the weakest, loneliest, like, most desperate man in this world right now. And you guys are taking everything that I want from me, and, like, I earned it. And it's just so unfair. Jesus is gonna make you pay.